Hi everyone, Eugene here. Today I'm going to be taking some time to expand upon our COPA conversation, talk a little bit about some other laws and issues related to student data privacy. In the digital age, there are mounting privacy concerns. I'm also going to be talking about educational technology companies, or EdTech companies, how they are operating shadily in terms of student data. These companies do a lot of things, and there's a great link in the description mapping them out. I highly suggest you check that out. But simply put, the tools that we have been fortunate to tinker around with in this class are opening amazing possibilities. And they are also creating a lot of gray area through which students are losing valuable data. We as teachers have a role in stopping this. To preface that, I'm going to go a bit more into the laws in the books and how they relate to student data. My hope is that you can scan through these on your own someday. But just ask your district's council. Knowing the laws and the concerns will help you stay out of trouble. First, we have COPA, which we've already covered. COPA was designed to protect students under 13. It governs how privacy policies can be written and how schools get consent from parents to use services. But there are so many others to know. We need to rewind to the 1970s and look at the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974, or FERPA. FERPA defines exactly what a student record is, any information recorded in any way, and how schools must handle them. This is important to know because it helps us understand how and when it is appropriate to handle and transcribe student records. This affects everything, even our personal notes, so I highly suggest you check out this law. It's very, very important to know. But there's some other laws that you should check out too. You should check out the Protection of Pupil Rights Amendment from 1978. Its purpose is to provide clarification regarding survey, evaluation, and analysis instruments. Parents have a right to refuse collection of certain personal information. We got to be on top of it. A lot of these laws were passed when paper records were the thing, and many state legislatures have argued that the current laws are insufficient for the digital age. Check out one of the links below to see how vastly different some state laws are on this issue. One of the most comprehensive laws is SOPIPA out of California. It's different because it targets the industry, not schools like the federal laws do, and it enacts some of the toughest laws about handling all identifiable information about students online, not just their records. Why did California choose to go further than the federal government? Simply put, it's much easier for students, teachers, and administrators to give up data that identifies students than it was 50 years ago. People are just giving it away without pausing for concern, not just students. But the students are doing it all the time in their private lives, and that doesn't end when they use EdTech services. They're also giving up a lot of data through surveys like on scholarships.com, data about their race, religion, and medical history, for instance. Teachers are giving up their students' data less frequently, but still often. They do it when they copy and paste information into the wrong field, for instance, or when they sign up for freemium services to do a formative assessment. And with often insufficient oversight, they're not paying attention to how services interact with the law. Now, don't get me wrong, student data can be hacked. And that's one part of the conversation for sure. But let's put that aside and focus on what we can affect as teachers. Remember, every one of us, with every step that we take and every internet cookie we eat, we're helping contribute to very sophisticated online advertising profiles. And our profiles are worth a lot of money. There's an entire subterranean market for our data. It's being bought and sold, cross-referenced with public records, and strengthened every day. The same is true for our learners, who are more vulnerable and susceptible to targeting and who represent new, untapped markets. The values of their data collectively is measured in millions or even billions by some measurements. There's an explosive report that I linked to in the comments about how companies aren't forthcoming with their practices, or they outright lie to consumers. I found in my research that student data is being tracked, packaged by race or ethnicity or future goals, and sold to the highest bidder. It's honestly stunning. So after looking into this topic, I think every teacher needs to help educate students to build digital literacy, and that includes best practices for how to use and interact with service providers online. We need students to see if something's free, that they are the product. Most importantly, we need to rapidly expand and reinforce our federal laws. One of my big takeaways is that our patchwork of state laws and this leaky set of federal laws, they're not protecting our students. We cannot unwittingly let our students generate profits for private companies, as tempting as some EdTech might be. We need to ask ourselves important questions about how we want data privacy to be for our young people and what we should morally be doing at the public school level. Thanks for your time. Check out those links.